And here's my next trucking adventure is about to begin. It involves hauling this little box, about 10 feet long, 7 wide, and probably 6 high. And check out how many straps I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you've been watching my videos, then you can probably guess that by amount of straps and the size of the timbers, these are not 4x4s, right? This is a serious weight. And it's right there. I asked the guy, and he wrote it down because he couldn't say it in English. Because I'm in Quebec, you know, so there's sometimes there's difficulty communicating here. And it's cold. So I'm glad that I'm going to Texas. So basically going back into summer. And the box is covered in this plastic film. And I tried to reason with the guy. I said, "Why do you want it tarped?" He couldn't understand me. He just pointed to the tarp, okay. And I said, "Why is there water under the film, under the plastic?" And he pointed outside. He said, "The box was sitting outside, and then we brought it inside." That's why they loaded me with the ceiling crane. So they brought it inside only to load me, right? So I said, okay, so this was sitting outside, so basically, what's the point? That's what happens many times. You know? They want you to top something they themselves have been keeping outside, and it's already wet. Except that I'm already being paid $100 to top this thing, so what I do? Got a top. Well, an hour later, I have the top in place, and thanks goodness this thing is only about 6 feet tall. I don't have a ladder, and so I used one of those skids and put it against the thing. And you know, I did this video about rookie drivers, so one of the telltales of rookie toppers is they use all the bungee cords they have. So that's my case. I don't top that often, so I use all the bungee cords. And that's one good thing about being an owner-operator, is that you can have as much as you want, as many as you want, because I buy them by boxes, so I have a whole bunch of those. And my top is a bit short, but I think the most important thing that covered, because most of the time I'll be driving forward, not backwards. And plus this thing is covered, it's inside the box, and plus it's covered in plastic. And oh, and I asked the French guy, I said, so why is it really necessary to have this thing tarped? Because you keep it outside, is that correct? And he said, yes, but he says, that plastic is just for the rain. Okay. He says, once you start driving at 160 kilometers an hour, it's gonna be gone. And he says, it's always tarped. Okay. And plus, they're not giving me my paperwork yet, so, you know, I cannot leave unless I get the paperwork, and if I don't tarp, he'll see, you know, and probably will not give me my paperwork. So I better go check. You know, it always amazes me, right? So how you drive a whole bunch of miles and people are surprised to see you, or they don't have the paperwork, right? So I drove 700 miles here and booked this load on Friday, and they had the load in place, but the paperwork is not ready. So, you know, bureaucracy, what do you do? I'm heading west on Freeway 40 in Quebec towards Ontario. Now, one cool thing about this load is that despite the heavy weight, I'm legal in Ontario and Quebec. And that's why my 3 axles, you know, come in handy. You can probably do this one through Ontario even with a tandem, because they allow 18,000 kgs per tandem. But for a tridem like this, they allow 26,000 kgs. You know, like 8 metric tons more. So, and Ontario is usually very expensive to, you know, for permits. So I'm saving a lot of money. So I wanted to call ComData permits right now, because I will need permits tomorrow, you know, starting from Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, you know, stuff like that. But I look at my gauges and my fifth wheel, I know from experience that's legal in the US. That's 34,000 pounds. So I'm probably about 45,000 on the tridem. And that's where all this weight is sitting. But it already happened many times before when I ordered permits, only to discover that the load was legal. So, well, this feels heavy. Like I can feel how it pulls me back when I jump on a pothole. I can feel there's a lot of weight behind me, but I wanna, you know, scale the truck first before ordering the permits. That's always a good idea. So now I don't order permits unless I see the load first. And in this case, because it's legal dimensions, but just, you know, heavy, so I'm gonna scale first and see what's up, you know, with all my axle weights, and then I'm gonna order permits. And they want me in Houston Friday, and today's Monday, so I got plenty of time. It's gonna be one fun of a ride, especially going down hills. I just scaled, and I'm at 92,920 pounds. The trail axles are 46,440. Drives are 33.8, but the steer axle is 12.6. What the heck? And I looked underneath and I just remembered I drove empty, so because of that I moved my fifth wheel closer to the truck. So that's what I'm doing now, dropping the suspension pressure, and as soon as it reaches 0, I'm gonna move my fifth wheel. My legs are down, of course. Yeah, I need the fifth wheel all the way in the back, closer to the trailer. This is like really massive weight. Wow, I moved the fifth wheel all the way to the back. Check out the difference. The front axle became 11.2, that's 1,000 pounds. The drive's 35.2, and the trail axle is 46.4, so it's the same, pretty much 93,000 pounds. Well, I like this better, but yeah, the steering axle is too light, but I don't have much fuel, so once I fuel, it should be okay. And that's of course over what you allowed in the US, but I'm gonna get a permit anyway, and I'm still legal in Ontario. because here with the weights are higher. So that was my probably day one of the trip to Houston. Stay tuned.